Well, it's been a hot minute, but back in September, I asked you to ask me anything, and now we're getting around to the answers. Jay Hawks, which skill came first, card magic or piano? They actually happened at the same time. I was 7 years old, and we moved into a place that had a piano, so I didn't know what I was doing. I sat down and just played stuff, and I sounded like Keith Jarrett. Anyway, and at the same time is when I had my first bicycle deck, and it all happened at I was 7 years old. So that's that. And then you asked which one helps the other one. Certain things for piano will help cards, and certain things in cards will help piano. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic there. I will say that guitar came much later. I was 15, 16 years old or something when I got my first guitar. I got that red Strat, I don't know if you can see it. There's a red Strat back there. It's my first guitar, still have it. That was much later, 15, 16 years old or so. But yeah, there you go. What books and texts have I found invaluable? Well, there's only one answer. Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz. If you're a magician and you haven't read that book, you're garbage. You need to read that book because the secret to everything is in that book. Strong Magic by Darwin Ortiz. Just read it. Am I a fan of Game of Thrones? Yes. I believe that Game of Thrones was one of the best series that I've seen in my lifetime. The character development, the twists and turns, the story arc of all the characters, how deeply rich all of the characters were, and separate. Each character had its own really well thought out character development and purpose and drive, and I just think that was one of the best shows that we've had the opportunity to see. The one that came after it, the Dragon one, no, not so much. And other shows, I can't think of another show that had that much impact and wanting to see the next season and the finales that kind of left you just, staring at the TV. I can honestly say I think that's one of the best shows that I've ever seen. Now, that's different from movies. I'm talking about something that's spanned over 8 seasons that's kept my interest. I really think that's one of the best things I've ever seen. Milkshake says, what's my favorite trick to do live? I would say the poker chip and the card catch. It's very interesting because most of the time when you perform something, you're starting at the beginning and you're taking the audience along for this story and you get to the end. The poker chip and the card catch, when you first start talking about it, they know what you're going to do. So it's very suspenseful because they all know how it's going to end, but because they're familiar with it from the social media, and they can't believe that you're going to get there. So very fascinating because you're starting out, they haven't seen it, but they know how it's going to end. It's suspenseful. So those are my favorites. High on the Sound says, my worst live fail. I talked about it in a previous, it was actually an interview I did in Atlantic City. I was on stage, actually I wasn't on stage, it was a walk around situation, but there was a lot of people watching, and I had palmed a card here, and I turned, and this woman saw it, and she pulled it out of my hands. She said, what the hell is this? I've told the story already, so I'll spare you the details, but you're caught. There's no way to get out of that one. What's the move or sleight that took the longest time to learn? All the deals. The deals took forever. The center deal would be obviously the most difficult. The Greek deal would be next after that. The second deal, and then the bottom deal. I got the bottom deal the quickest. For some reason that came to me. I just worked on it so much, and I could do it consistently after a couple years. The second deal, I just felt like consistency was the biggest thing. Like I could do 10 in a row, but then I'd bind, So that kind of bothered me. How come I can watch Darwin do like endless second deals flawlessly? So that was annoying, but I did get there. But the Greek and the center deal, really, those really took the longest time to get, and they need constant maintenance. You're never done with them. You have to keep them in shape. So the deals. If you could go back in time and see one magician from the past, who would it be? I want to see Mike Skinner in his prime. The first time I saw Mike Skinner, it was his older VHS tapes, and he had already kind of passed his prime there. So still amazing stuff. But there's a clip on the Carson Show where Mike Skinner does some stuff, and he's just so smooth. Oh man. So, but that's only one clip. So I would like to see Skinner, Mike Skinner, in his prime. That's my answer. Where do I get my ideas from? Right here. See, other magicians have to watch my channel and steal the stuff, but I have to come up with it first. See how that works? How many hours a day do I practice to get to the point where I'm comfortable with a trick? That can be years. There are things that I have created 10 years ago that I'm still practicing that I haven't even seen the stage yet. Because you can't get on stage and hope it's going to work. You have to get on stage and nail it. So it's just, especially with the character I play, I can't be up there saying, oh, let me try it again, you know. So it's not really measured in hours and this and that. You just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and build the confidence to get out there and pull the trigger. But I can honestly say things have been practiced quite literally. There was something I realized today that was 15 years ago. I actually yelled at myself. I said, it's been 15 years. I think we can pull the trigger. So yeah, a lot of time goes into practicing and rehearsing to say you have it down pat. In what ways did Darwin's mentorship reshape your identity as a magician beyond just your technical skill? Well, for the first 7 years, it was nothing but technical. But then we got into creativity was one thing we spent a lot of time on, and character. Those are the two big things, and premise. I really struggled with premise at the beginning because I had that same problem that other magicians have. Magicians tend to just put things in order. Oh, this will fool them, and this will fool them. And then the deck's a different color. Like, well, what does all that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's a bunch of stuff that happens that people go, wow, it's weird. So getting to make a story that connects all of those things, premise was very difficult because in magic you're all over the place. So you have to connect it all so it makes sense and what is the purpose you're doing it. So Darwin really helped me understand getting a solid premise. And then if you have a character to drive through that premise, well, that's even better. And then coming up with unique premises, it's all kind of connected. So the technical stuff was pretty easy because I just show up and do the thing he told me to do. But boy, I really had to rack my brain for the second, I'd say the next 12 years after technical stuff was all really creativity, character development, premise, and understanding magic on a much deeper level. That was really the best stuff there because Steve Forte's great at technical stuff, but I don't think Steve Forte could create a solid premise with characters in it that flowed smoothly. No offense to Steve, but he's a technician. So I think Darwin really helped me in that regard. But either way, hop in the comments and bitch and moan about that, magicians. Do I prefer modern cut or traditional cut? I am a traditional cut kind of a guy. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Others, C4P says, what are my goals in life? Seriously. You know what I want? I just want there to be a couple out there that's arguing, a boyfriend and girlfriend that are screaming at each other, and my name comes up somehow. All you do is watch that damn card guy. That to me, that's a goal. That's one of them anyway. I'm actually doing the thing that I wanted to do. When I was in my early 20s, I said, all I want to do is be out there performing on stage, doing kick-ass magic and making a lot of money. And I'm here. So I am enjoying that, and we're here. We're here, folks. That and the arguments. Oh, that's a good one. All right, on that note, that was a lot of fun. I appreciate it very much. Thanks for sticking around and watching. Don't worry, if I didn't answer your question, you can just ask it again because we'll do another AMA down the line. I'll make a video saying, ask me a question. And then 6 or 7 months later, I'll do the answers like we did this time. But either way, I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.